Yo, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Cantina Corner podcast. As you can see, just me and Nick tonight. Adam is on yonder, roaming the streets of Wisconsin.
Hanging out in the mansions.
Yeah. So tonight, we're gonna talk about current events, but this one we're gonna talk about baseball, specifically what's going on in baseball right now, because there's
We talk about some baseball.
two big topics that are both ridiculous. Both fucking piss me off, to be honest with you. First off, we can start with the All-Star game. MLB has decided to pull the All-Star game because Georgia passed the ID law where you have to show an ID in order to vote.
That's what it fully was.
Yeah, that was their main reasoning. Now they think that is, I forget the wording they use, but restricting minorities' ability to vote because they don't have ID or this or that. So they think it's inhibiting people's ability to vote. So they are pulling the All-Star game that was going to happen this year from Atlanta. They have not announced where they're going to move it to.
I thought it was next year's. It was this year. Maybe
Yeah,
seeing
2021.
Honestly, still seeing 2021 is a little weird, honestly.
Yeah.
When I do see it, I'm like, oh, that's next year. Like,
Yeah.
It's so weird.
They haven't announced it. It kind of sucks because they were going to honor Hank Aaron. I mean, that was going to be the big thing. Honestly, my gut would say they would move it to Milwaukee, because you could still play the Hank Aaron thing there, still fits in. It's not as, prominent as his Atlanta days, but nonetheless, I mean, I think that makes sense. It's a dome, I don't know. But what do you think about that? What do you think about them pulling the All-Star game?
I think it's stupid. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I don't understand the politicization of like baseball. I go to baseball to unplug and like get away from the stupid daily stuff you hear every day. Like, the last thing I want is just like that to be mixed up in this. And I don't know. It gives me another reason to hate Rob Manfred. I haven't liked him for a long time. I always talk about him, the gap tooth son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he's just ruining baseball, making it terrible. I can understand some things in the way of wanting to modernize the game and kind of getting some of the casual fans, but I feel like they're trying so hard to capture that market, but because they're casual fans, that's a hard market to capture. You can't really, there's nothing to really grasp onto. What's popular one year, it might not be the very next year or 2 years down the road because it's casual fans. They stick around for a little bit. Once the team starts doing bad or, they're not winning all the time or something, they end up just going away and stop paying attention. So I can understand some of the modernization of wanting to do it, but I just feel like a lot of the stuff he's doing is just ruining the game. And I'm not really a traditionalist and like get off my lawn type of person, but with baseball, I do end up being like that a lot. So it takes a little bit for me to like be like, okay, let's modernize it, but like it's just overboard with what he's doing. It's awful.
Yeah, I agree. Rob Manfred's the worst commissioner in all sports. He really is. But as far as like this situation, I find it like extremely hypocritical situation. When, I told you, like, there's people on Twitter pointing out like, well, is the MLB gonna still require you to show your ID to get an alcoholic beverage at a game? Because I mean, it's literally the same thing. You have a right to drink, but if you don't have an ID, they're not going to serve it to you. Well, you have a right to vote. If you don't have an idea, you're not. I mean, it's the same. It's the same concept. I don't get, and I don't like to use the word like radicalization, but it really is like a radicalization of politics where it counts for some things, it doesn't count for other things, and it only counts when it's like with your party. Like we were talking with the vaccine. I don't care if people get a vaccine, but the vaccine identification card, like now we need to carry an ID that says we're vaccinated. It's becoming way too much, man. Honestly, I feel like if you just said like, hey, get a vaccine, let's all do our part, get a vaccine, fine. But when you do have a certain part of the country that questions everything that happens on the left, right or wrong, they question everything. But I feel like that only fuels it when you tell them, listen, you're going to have to get this card. Like that only fuels that hate. I just see that's like a pure divisionist thing. And then pulling using a corporation like the MLB to pull an all-star game from all those small businesses, all those bars downtown Atlanta that could use that money after COVID and everything.
For clear political reasons.
For a clear political agenda. To me, is just completely asinine. And I agree with you. I feel like most sports fans are like us. Like, you turn on 90 channels on this television and you're going to get politics.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn on baseball and have to deal with that. I really don't. But it's just thrown in your face no matter what. You know, the whole, like, the national anthem protest. I don't care. You want to, like, go ahead, kneel. I really don't care. Yeah. If that's your preference, go ahead. That doesn't bother me when it comes to, like, sports and political.
For the national anthem for how long and just say to Skittles, like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Marshawn Lynch did it for years. Nobody gave a shit, you know?
Like, I just want to watch some football and that's it. Like,
yeah,
I think it's really annoying seeing the shit with it.
Yeah, and I think it's an absolute asinine job by the MLB and Rob Manfred. And I think it's even more distasteful that I know most people who watch us will know I love Marcus Stroman. And on Twitter, he bashed the Braves, put out a press release saying they disagree with the MLB's decision and were very disappointed in it. And they will stand by their fan base and the people of Georgia, you know, in hopes that they can get another All-Star game back like they were promised. And Marcus Stroman retweeted the press release and said, worst press release of all time. And Rob Manfred liked it. He liked the tweet. To me, if you're a commissioner, that's the last thing you need to be doing. Don't try to play up to the players who you're trying to fuck. You work for the owners. Like, if I'm a player, I see that, I'm like, really, dude? Like, you're going to try to act like you give a fuck about us?
Yeah.
To me, that annoyed me too.
Vocal, like, against, like, the commissioner in baseball and things they do in terms of, like, you know, doling out suspensions and whatnot for showing your personality and things like that.
Yeah, which is something we're about to get into here. This is, I called you today because this fucking pissed me off so much. If you guys don't know, Nick Castellanos plays for the Reds. He went yard day one. Did a little strut, little bat flip. Supposedly had nothing to do with the fact that in game 2, he ate like 95 to the ribs. I'm not sure exactly. I know it was 90 plus. I don't know how fast it was exactly.
It fucking hurt.
It hurt. It was 90 plus to the ribs. So you can watch the video. He looked at Yadier Molina. He said, was that on purpose? Or was that an accident? You can read his lips. It's pretty clear what he says. Yadi obviously says it was an accident. Because Castellanos is like, okay. He picks up the ball. He asks the pitcher if he wants it back or if he wants a new one, which I thought was hilarious.
In this interview, he said he wasn't trying to, like, show him up or anything, though. He was like, He was just asking some pitchers, if you're grooving with the ball that you got, you know, they don't want to change it or anything like that. So right. And I know in his interview, but in the moment, it does kind of seem like he's like, yeah, you want this back.
It's funny. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything harmful about doing that. I know Adam Wainwright spoke out against it, and Castellanos said, whatever, he can think that. He's a Hall of Famer. Like, he's allowed to think that. But long story short, he comes around to score on a wild pitch, and he slides in head first, and the pitcher tries to catch the ball and tag him out. Castellanos gets called safe, stands up, and does the muscular right in his face, right? Just pure emotion of score, like a close play at the plate. He scored after getting plunked, and the pitcher's right there. I loved it. I mean, if I'm a Reds fan, that's my phone lock screen wallpaper. Is Castellanos standing over that pitcher? Plus, the pitcher's face, it was just pure like, what? Yeah. It was hilarious. It was great. So whatever, Yachty comes over to protect his pitcher, doing what he does, pushes Castellanos in the back. If you watch this whole brawl go down, Castellanos walks over by the dugout and just stands there. The whole time, both teams are getting into it. Arenado comes running in. All these players are running in. Moustakas is like holding Yachty back. And all this is going down. Castellanos is on the dugout, by the dugout, just standing there. The bullpens got into it out in the outfield. I don't even know what the hell. The fake tough guys getting out.
They got to get into the action.
Oh, my God.
It's so far to run all the way out there that they just got
like, hey, let's get in a scuffle right here.
Yeah.
So, long story short, today I get an update on my phone that the MLB has suspended Castellanos for 2 games. Of course, he's appealing. There's the biggest load of shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It literally proves that Rob Manfred is the worst commissioner in sports. This man wants to always talk about, we got to make this game fun for young kids, fun for the young people, more entertaining, more homers, more runs scored. No, I want to see players play with fucking emotion.
No, I got a question. Does this now mean that if Castellanos appeals and let's say it doesn't work, his appeal gets turned down or whatever?
I bet you goes to 1 game.
And he has to serve it, whatever. Would that not mean he served more time suspended for something not cheating than any of the Astros ball players got?
Yep. 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 Which, unbelievable. Unbelievable when you think about that situation.
I do believe wasn't
Not
AJ
one
Hinch was the only one that got punished.
And he got fired anyway.
Yeah.
So the Astros literally got away scot-free. Scot-free. They fired their general manager and they fired Hinge. Who's he managing now? Detroit, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say I just heard his name this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's embarrassing. He's back managing, and the Astros literally had 0 penalty. Which I'm in the ballpark of, they won it, they cheated, put an asterisk on it. You don't have to take it from them. Just put an asterisk on it. I want them to know for the rest of their franchise that's tarnished. But anyways, Castellanos is getting a 2-game suspension as of right now. I think it's going to go down to 1. It should be nothing. They shouldn't have even suspended him. Yeah, he literally did nothing. He taunted, like you were saying, oh, well, maybe they're getting him for taunting. Taunting's a 15-yard penalty in football, bro.
Yeah.
In football. This is baseball. This rarely happens. It was raw emotion. It was no different than someone crushing a homer, like Jose Bautista in the playoffs, crushing a homer, standing there watching it, and launching his fucking bat. I don't see any difference in this. That's taunting. It really is. And I fucking love it.
Yep. I think most fans do, honestly. I think
how could you not?
Exciting to see. It's really exciting to see. And baseball needs that too. They need, like I said before, like I'm real traditionalist and all that with baseball, but I love the emotion shown. I love when guys hit a home run and kind of pimp it a little bit.
Yes.
I love when pitchers strike somebody out and got like the Stroman when he does his little strut.
The swag.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like
Trevor Bauer walking off the mound doing what's his name? Conor McGregor's fucking walk off the mound.
It's great. Give me more.
Are we going to start penalizing players for doing this shit?
That's what Manfred wants to do.
That's what it seems to be. Let's take the emotion out of the game. Let's play 7 innings. Let's put a guy on second and extra inning. Like, I don't understand it.
That's one of the worst. It's such a little league,
it really is. I mean,
it's like you guys are getting paid millions to play a game for a living, and you're putting in these little league rules like this. Like, no, these are grown men. They can go out and earn it in extra innings. If they really want it, they will win it. Like,
I agree. Listen, I'll admit it didn't change the game that much because there's not that many games that go in extra innings.
No,
but if you're not going to do something in the playoffs, don't do it in the regular season. That's just the way I feel about it. If you're not going to do it in the playoffs, don't do it in the regular season. You're turning it into 2 different sports at that point. As a team, let's say a team like plays small ball really well, like the Royals used to when they won the World Series. You put a guy on second, they know how to play small ball. They're going to move that guy over and sacrifice him in probably pretty often. Now, let's say they have 15 games where they go into extra innings and they win 14 of them or 13 of them because of that, and they get their way in the playoffs. Then they get swept in the playoffs because they don't have that option. They play the games tough, but they go into extra innings in like 1 or 2 of those games, and they get swept because they can't play small ball in the playoffs. It's just I don't know.
Yep.
You get into two different things, especially with baseball. There's too many different variables, I guess would be the word. But yeah, this guy is fucking ruining the sport by commissioning like this. This suspension seriously is like the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my life.
It makes
and I'm not even
sense.
a Reds fan, bro. I actually, I've said this before. I love the Indians, obviously, diehard Indians fan. I love watching the Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals are probably my third favorite team. And it happened against the Cardinals, and I fucking loved it. Like, I loved it. I loved it. If this could have happened to the Indians, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish somebody would do that to James Karinchak, because that crazy motherfucker would probably stand up and get right back in his face, which would be awesome.
It would be.
You know,
that's what we talk about all the time. That 2015 season with not the Astros, but the fucking Royals, where they were just going out and just fighting everybody.
Yeah.
It was like one of the most exciting seasons of baseball I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't give a fuck, and they were out there, and they had attitude and if the teams didn't like it and they want to do something about it, they would
come get some.
Yeah. Like,
Donovan Ventura was putting 97 at your dome. He didn't care.
Yeah,
it was great.
You want it? Come get it. It was. That season was so exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, this proves too that MLB has such a disconnect with younger fans of social media. I watched Quick Pitch this weekend. This led off Quick Pitch. Heidi Watney, this was the first thing she talked about on Quick Pitch, was this brawl and how exciting it was. And she even said, when she goes in her opening, she's talking about all the games they're going to talk about. And she's like, well, enough of that. Let's get to the brawl you guys want to talk about. And it's like, yeah, this is what I want to see. But for some reason, we're going to lead off all of our preview shows with this, all like Sports Center. You know what? 2-game suspension for you standing with your hands behind your back at the dugout after everyone got a little crazy because you showed some emotion. Of course, I mean, I don't even blame Yachty for trying to protect his pitcher. He did what catcher's supposed to do. All he did was push him. There was a little scuffle. Nobody threw a punch. Nothing. I mean, nobody should be suspended here.
Nope.
Not one person. And it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off, man.
Yeah, no, it's complete trash. And I think Manfred just creates PR nightmare after nightmare for himself, like with this kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, you had guys like Trevor Bauer, who was, he tweeted out about Castellanos, saying, that's a leader. I would love to take the mound for her. And it's like, yeah, this guy's showing emotion. He even said that in his post-game interview. Castellanos was like, listen, I respect Yadier Molina. He could punch me in the face, and I'm going to ask him for an autographed jersey.
Yeah.
Like, he's a real one, but, I got emotional. What do you want me to do? I'm tired of losing. And the guy's been with Detroit. They sucked. I think he have a little stint with the Cubs? And
I think so, yeah.
And now he's with the Reds. I mean, this guy wants to win, man. So I don't blame him at all, man. I texted you. I know you've been a huge fan of him since he was in Detroit. And I was like, I think I like him just as much as you now, because that press conference alone where he was just like, look, it's baseball. I ate it in the ribs. I'm allowed to show some emotion back. Everybody knows it. Everybody respects it. Except for Rob Manfred. The only one who doesn't get it in this situation is Rob Manfred.
No, he doesn't get it
at all. It's fucking asinine.
Stupid on this situation. Makes no sense. And even, what was it, was it last year, 2 years ago, when Arenado was talking about that too? The one he got, what was it, him and the Cubs, wasn't it? Between him and the Cubs. And they were good. One series, they were just going back and forth, just pegging each other.
Yeah.
And reporters asked Arenado about it, and he just kind of like, hey, it is what it is. Like,
it's baseball. I'm the best player on the team. I got to expect that. That's literally what he said.
Like, there's no need to throw suspension out there. It's like, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Let them entertain the fans.
Yeah. Not even that, man. It's just raw. Like, when we watched the WBC, it was just raw emotion. Every fucking play. No matter what team you watched, they were playing for their country. And the USA team, it was like, we never get to see those guys show that much emotion playing baseball.
Yeah.
And it was like old man Adam Jones was like revitalized his career, because he was just running around there playing his fucking ass off. I think harder than he did for the last few seasons before that. I'm being quite honest with you.
I mean, he was old by that point,
Dude,
so
and he was
yeah.
playing center field, and he was playing it like a fucking boss. If he doesn't rob that homer, I don't know. I don't know if the U.S. wins it all.
That's such a great job,
Dude,
WBC. I can't wait for it to come back.
I can't either. That's why I can't wait to watch Stroman pitch. I mean, I already liked Stroman, but that WBC took it to another level.
Oh,
I was like, this dude is the fucking real deal, man.
yeah.
Oh God, man, love that guy. But yeah, Rob Manfred's got to go.
Yeah, he's trash.
The suspension on top of pulling the All-Star game over political shit that literally they have nothing to do with. And I know they say something like, "Oh, it inhibits our players from voting." How? Your players don't have IDs. You're still allowed to absentee ballot.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Absentee ballot wasn't meant for everybody. It was meant for like military and people on business that can't be there. So I feel baseball would fit under that category. If you're on a road trip or something, I mean, why? How many fucking teams are playing in November anyway?
And I mean, I would imagine all their players that live out of country, they have a passport, and you need an ID for a passport,
right?
So that shouldn't matter either, anyways.
You need an ID to drive.
Yeah, I really don't understand either. When you see the president tweeting about baseball too, about that, it's like, come on, this is so dumb.
Yeah,
like these things should be separate. They should never be mixed.
Yeah, but they are. Everything is mixed now. Everything's mixed.
It's fucking annoying.
Yep, you just can't run away from it, no matter how hard you try. But it is what it is, man.
Strikeouts and some homers. That's all I want to see.
I know. I want to see pitch. Which, by the way, we should just touch on it. What about the pitching duel that fucking Minnesota and the Brewers were in with Berrios and Barnes, dude? No hitters through 6, both of them. That dude.
I only seen a little bit of highlights. That I didn't get to see too much, but I seen that. Yeah, it was a duel.
How do you feel about that? Because the Brewers left Barnes in. He ended up giving up the homer to Buxton. By the way, told you.
Told you. 4 games into the season.
Hey,
done.
Hey, I'm telling you, that guy put it together.
It would be about time if he did.
It would be. But how do you feel about the Twins pulled Berrios? Had a no going, and they pulled him.
What was his pitch count?
Like 85, I believe.
Honestly, I wouldn't even care. It's this early in the season. I would have went out and talked to Berrios and been like, "Do you want to keep pitching?" Like,
it's the longest he's taken a no-hitter in his career.
If you got a no-hitter going, and you said, well, so he was through 5 at 85 pitches?
Through 6.
Oh, through 6 at 85 pitches? Oh, my God. Yeah, I've been like, dude, you want to go out there and do this? Keep going. Just let me know when it's time. Like, unless I know before then.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you'd have a good feel for. But this early in the season, I don't see why not.
I agree with you.
And the Twins are going
to let them go through 7. I mean, they still won the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's a moot point.
They're going to be in contention where, like, say down the stretch, like, I mean, they could be needing to win a lot of games, but I think they'll be in contention most of the season where, like, maybe, down the stretch, he does, if it comes to that situation again, they might save his arm for the playoffs or something like that, Like, this early, I would feel like you'd want him to kind of really get stretched out and loose or something. But it's just fucking no hitter through 6. Fucking let the dude pitch.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I'm with you.
Let the dude roll. That's why I love when you see those videos of like Scherzer on the mound and he's got it and the coach comes out and he's just like nope.
I love it. He's literally done that too. He's like, no, you're not going to come out here and take this ball from me.
That's like, all right, you know what? I would turn right around and be like, all right, see you later. Yeah. You do what you got to do. Like,
which side note? Me and Kim were watching the Mets game right before we started doing this. First inning, DeGrom's hitting 100. You want to talk about like getting loose for a game, dude? First inning and the man's touching 100.
Yeah.
On the black too, man. I mean, he was painting it. There was nothing. He made McCutcheon look like a rookie. It was insane.
Not the old man he is.
No. I mean, there's no doubt DeGrom's probably the best. He is the best pitcher in baseball right now.
I'd say so, yeah.
That's just insane, man. First inning, you're hitting 100, man. Your arm's that loose. Crazy.
The dude's just disgusting.
Especially after sitting. I mean, they had their whole first series just postponed. It didn't affect him at all.
It helped me out fantasy wise, but yeah,
it did. Well, maybe. Let's see what he does tonight.
Well,
he still gets 2 starts against you. He doesn't get 3, fine. But he gets 2. You did luck out.
Nelson Cruz put up 17 points for me. So I'm hoping like that's a good cushion from a DH. Like you are not expecting that. So
plus Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler gave you a little bit of a start there.
He dominated. You know he had 2 RBIs in that game too.
Did he? Yeah. He did more in offense than the fucking Braves did.
Dude, like
it's great too. Sean, who won our MLB The Show contest, we were messaging each other about who's going to win first, the Indians or the Braves, and the Indians have actually won a game and the Braves haven't, because he's talking shit about our offense. It's like, well, what about our offense? We're winning games. We're 1-2. You're 0-3.
Yep. And then they got shut out today, though.
Yeah, they did. But I don't know if the Braves played today or no. Their game got postponed. They were supposed to play the Nationals. Okay. So they still haven't won a game. So fuck you, Sean. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this video. Fuck Rob Manfred.
Rob Manfred. Half hour of hate or however long.
Half hour of hate speech towards Rob Manfred.
Yep.
And I think that's hate speech everybody can get on board with. We've done something nobody could do and find out that hate speech can be useful and correct. And if it's towards Rob Manfred.
Yeah.
So with that, man, we will see you guys Wednesday. We're gonna break down what's going on in baseball for fantasy wise. Tell you guys we think you should pick up, and your waiver wires coming up and stuff. If you have like a league like we have so much money you can spend on players to pick them up or drop or whatever. We'll go through that with you. We'll break down some stuff for you. And then I think we might do a little football episode for Thursday night. So had some football news come down this week. So we'll see how that goes. So we will see you guys next time. Deuces. Yep. Fuck Rob Manfred.